The food and beverage service personnel cover a wide range of roles within an establishment. Many of them can be found in a restaurant like this, but some of them are specific to places where accommodation is also provided. The bigger the operation, the more staff and roles there are likely to be. On a smaller scale, many roles will be morphed into one. Let's begin by looking at the food and beverage manager. This role involves the nuts and bolts business side of things. This person is responsible for buying all of the ingredients required by the restaurant. Not only this, but they must maintain the correct profit margins for all of the services offered. This can be a delicate balancing act, as the costs of preparing a dish don't remain constant forever. They must also work with the kitchen staff when putting menus together, update wine stocks, and make sure that all staff are being properly trained and that the restaurant as a whole is running at the correct standard. Moving on from this position, let's take a look at some of the other roles.
那么接待领班，它一个最主要的职责就是要非常清楚和全面的了解本餐厅的预定的情况。那么当客人按照这个预定的时间抵达餐厅的时候呢，我们的领班呢有责任和义务呢向客人问好，并且引领客人到他们所预定的餐桌旁。
The head waiter or the maitre d' are responsible for the front of house staff and ensuring that they get all of their duties done before service. During service, they may need to take an order, take over for the restaurant manager, or help out the reception head waiter.
In large restaurants, the table areas are broken down into sections. These sections are broken down again into stations. There are usually between 4 and 8 tables in each station. The head waiter is placed in charge of a section, and beneath this person is a team of station waiters, each in charge of their own station. To help the station waiter get around their 4 to 8 tables, there is an assistant station waiter who works under the direction of the station waiter.
The waiter is the first contact for the restaurant. It's an important person with the customer relations that gives a diners a positive dining experience. There's also a liaison between the kitchen and the front of house. These people are also responsible for the service of good food and fine wines.
If someone is new to the industry, they often start out as a trainee commis or débarrasseur. This is an entry-level position where the person is an apprentice, and this role usually includes simple tasks such as cleaning the restaurant before the customers come in, or stocking the sideboards with everything that the waiters and waitresses will need during the service period.
Depending on the establishment, there may be a carver. This person will often have large amounts of meat on a trolley and move from table to table, carving it for individual customers' needs. Moving away from a standalone restaurant to a hotel, we begin to find a whole range of extra positions required in the food and beverage service industry. Room service brings with it its own unique challenges. Large hotels need a large system to cope with the demands. Often, each floor of the hotel is under the supervision of a floor waiter, and all of the floor waiters are under the supervision of a head floor waiter. To help service the rooms with all of the meals and beverages that are needed, the waiters make use of heated trolleys, so that the meals stay warm while they travel up the lifts and through the corridors. For some guests, the privacy of room service is unbeatable, but for others, they prefer a more social setting and spend time in the hotel or resort's lounge.
Lounge staff are typically only found in large establishments. Their job is to create an environment and maintain the environment of the lounge area, at the same time also keeping to the standard that is expected and the cleanliness.
The sommelier is the profession of serving alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages to customers. It is really important that they have a strong knowledge of the food and the beverages and which complement each other. It is also vitally important that they understand the legislation around serving alcohol to customers.
Close to a sommelier is a bartender or mixologist. These staff members must have a full working knowledge of the drinks and cocktails offered by an establishment and how to make them. A mixologist goes one step further in that they are able to create their own new concoctions. Closely related to this is a barista who serves both hot and cold beverages. Moving away from the drink side of things and into the all-you-can-eat, we find the buffet assistant. This person runs the buffet, organising its presentation, size of portions, and its continued filling. Once customers have had a good meal, it's important that they pay before leaving. The cashier tallies up the bills for individual guests and for groups, receives their payment, and wishes them an enjoyable rest of the evening. Throughout different types of establishments, there are still more roles that are needed for the organisation to function.
So counter assistants, their role is quite simple really. They restock the food on display and serve customers at the point of sale. The table clearer's role is to remove the food from the table and dirty dishes and clean them hygienically and sanitise after use.
Lastly, in the food and beverage service industry, we find function catering. These companies will often have a small team of experienced permanent employees, and the rest will be hired on a casual basis for events. This helps to keep the day-to-day running costs down, but also means that they are capable of serving large amounts of customers when needed. Overall, there are many different positions and levels of skill needed to make up and maintain the food and beverage service industry. Next, we'll be looking at attributes needed by food and beverage service personnel.